Karaoke, mate. Saber, I think I see it. Cali may have finally had a change of tune because of the new Dino support. He knows what it is, even though he didn't. You better bet your ass this deck is sick. You already seen what he did in yesterday's video. Today, I'm gonna have him take it a bit further. Me and my mate Saber, short for Saber Sarasaurus, are amazing with the Dino deck, and I might just teach you a tip of the trade or two. All I need you to do is one thing. Pop the baby. What's going on with y'all, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal, but if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of her day. Wild Survivors is actually insane. The new Transcendosaurus monsters actually help the deck tremendously. And today, not only am I going to be showing you an updated version of yesterday's video, seeing your boy playing dinos again is too strong. I'll also even be giving you budget and alternative solutions when I can, as well as some combos. This deck is amazing. But of course, big dog, if you want to see more videos like this, you already know what to do. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. As well as hit that notification bell and let me know down below in the comment section what are some other deck profiles you want to see. Without further ado, I present to you an updated Dino deck profile you can take a little bit from. This deck just keeps getting stronger. So before we get into this profile, I have to just say, yes, guys, yes. You can go to TheCaliEffect.com and pre-order your Lost World playmats today. This is like the third time that we've done this, and you guys keep on requesting it. I guess we'll keep on bringing it back out, maybe every time we do a Dino deck profile. So just in case if you miss it this time, you can always wait for another. Also, of course, as usual, I will be putting test hands on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. But let's go ahead and get into the deck profile so we can explain why I play these cards and how the deck is operated right now. All right, guys, so for the starters, there's 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor and 2 copies of Animadorned Archosaur. This is extremely basic. You're gonna find this in just about any single dinosaur deck alongside of 3 copies of Fossil Day. Even with the new Transcendosaurus monsters, this particular portion stays exactly the same. The only difference that I make in this particular deck is that I'm playing 3 copies of Small World instead of 3 copies of Proud of Prosperity, and I think that this is good for both budget players and for players that are looking for more consistency in this deck. The reason why I like Small World is because now that you have more fire dinosaur monsters with different levels, it allows you to be able to bridge into any single card that you want. Also, more importantly, since kaijus and board breakers are extremely strong in this Yu-Gi-Oh format, being able to Small World bridge into a board breaker card is actually huge. I wouldn't say that Small World is better than Pot of Prosperity, but if your opponent Ash Blossoms this, you lose exactly nothing, or if they don't stop it, you get to break their board. So for my budget players, I do think that Small World is crazy, but one card that's not so budget is Ground Zeno, and I play 3 copies of this card. I do think that it is a mandatory 3-of. This card is outright like one of the most outrageous cards in the entire deck. Just this and any copies of your Baby Sarasaurus or your Petit Pteranodons are full combo, and that's why we're maxing out on 3 copies of each of these bad boys. Now, since we're maxing out on both Baby Sarasaurus and Petit Pteranodon, you would probably think it would be a great idea to main board Lethosagam. Lethosagam is actually a terribly powerful card that lets you rip cards out of your opponent's extra deck, but what I found through testing is that the card is not really powerful when going second. I do think that it's one of those cards that you could place inside of the sideboard when you know you're going first, or you know you have a matchup where your opponent is really relying on the extra deck and completely destroy them. But in this particular deck, since it's already 44 cards and I didn't really have any cards I wanted to take out, I decided to put it to the side now. Of course, there's 1 copy of Misk. The new best copy of Miscellaneous Heiress is the rare version. The gold one sucks. And then for the other dinosaur monsters, of course, there's 2 copies of Scrap Raptor, 1 copy of Scrap Chimera, and 1 copy of Giant Rex. This is pretty standard. Just about every dinosaur deck will play these, as they're very important to be able to get into your combos. But now the new Dino Boys in the house that we're playing, these are actually extremely good cards. I played 2 copies of Xeno Meteorios, 1 copy of Sabercerosaurus, 1 copy of Frostosaurus. Now, a lot of builds only play 1 normal monster to be able to supplement the ground Xeno in the Xeno Meteorios. I play 2, and it's actually for a few reasons. I actually love testing out these particular cards. I'll be able to explain why. The first thing I want to point out is that I think it is extremely correct to play 2 normal monsters, whether you decide to play the level 6 or just level 4s or multiple level 6s. And the reason why is because using ground Xeno to fusion summon is like crazy, but also there are a lot of combo sequences where you need 2 normal monsters to be able to facilitate your full combo. And another thing I want to point out is that having the normal monster in your hand is actually good from time to time. I went with Sabersaurus over Megalomasher X is because it is an Earth target for True King Lithosagam. It's also a secret rare, and you guys know how I feel about high rarity cards. But if you guys are not playing Lithosagam in your main board or your sideboard, I would actually tell you to play Cabazulus. The reason why is because Small World can bridge Cabazulus into your babies, where Sabersaurus cannot, as it's a Dino and an Earth. But outside of that, Xeno Meteorius is like, oh my god, this card is crazy. It helps you chain block, it can summon dinos from your hand or deck, and then like its restrictions, oh my god, its restrictions, Chinging is a card. I really like Meteorius, and a lot of times I'll be using ground Xeno to search it, as opposed to my normals or my tuners, but sometimes it does come up to search the normals. The rest of the extender cards is 3 copies of Lost World. A lot of people have forgotten about this card, but it's actually really good at preventing your deck from being impermed or effect veilered, and also good at chain blocking. Also helps you break boards and prevents you from getting evenly. Like, this card's really good. And also, don't forget about the normal combos, my guy. Lost World plus Soul Eating, come on. Animador now has 6 targets, so Animador and Soul Eating and a baby, pretty good. For the boss monsters, of course, there's 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and 2 copies of Double Evolution Peel here. Not really much to be said, as this is extremely standard. And personally, I think that this is the core portion of the Dino deck. Not really much changes that I would do here, maybe outside of the normal monster in Lost World ratios, but it's really up to you. This is a very consistent version that I've been testing with and been having a lot of success with when playing against TJ on our duel that we did, as well as some duels outside of that, as well as my veteran expertise as a Dino player. Now, there is one thing that I want to mention about this particular Dino deck, is that I think cards like Lightning Storm and Dark Ruler No More are great Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's also Triple Tactics Talent and Triple Tactics Thrust. But the problem with those particular cards is that they're not good small world bridges. I think if you're on a prosperity route, you can actually play more board breakers like those particular cards. But since I am on the small world route, I think that these cards are a little bit better. The only hand trap that I play in this deck is Droll and Lockbird, because this is the only hand trap that will end my opponent's turn. And then, of course, there's Dogger and the Mad Flame Kaiju and Dino Wrestler Pankotraps. Not only are these cards small world targets in bridges, they're also dinosaur monsters. So, you know, searchable through cards like Soul Eating. The last card that I was going to play was actually Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but I think that this card is almost like Dark Ruler No More for this deck, while also being a small world target. Kirtakara the Divine Carnate is actually phenomenal in this deck. The reason why is because Kirtakara is a level 1 fire monster. You can bridge this to an Animadorned Archosaur, or maybe your Xeno Meteorius, or even a Miscellaneous Ceres. And it also is a board-breaking Yu-Gi-Oh card that just so happens to be a non-Dino monster you can put to your graveyard for Double Evolution Pill. Of course, guys, I do understand that Kirtakara is a very expensive card, so if you can't afford it, I would suggest taking these out for Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom is a hand trap that only stops 1 interaction, but it could stop important cards like Branded Fusion, while also providing some of the same benefits as Kirtakara, being a small world target and being a different monster for you to banish with Double Evolution Pill. Well, that's it for the main board at 44 cards. It's kind of weird that I went to 44 twice, like in my Chaos Dragon deck, but the reason why I went with this is because there are certain cards in this deck that I would not like to draw. My Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos, my Pill, Scrap Chimera, and so I went with a little bit more cards so I can include more board breakers inside of this deck, while also being able to keep the continuity of the strategy. For the extra deck, there's 1 copy of Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Scrap Wyvern, 1 Secure Gardno, 1 Link Kribo. This is fairly standard. The Cross Sheep is because we are playing the new Transcendrake Gigantazowler, and I have to say, this is one of the best cards printed inside of the set. I actually really want to play 2, and it makes so much sense for this particular deck because A, I play enough normal monsters, I play 2 normal monsters, and this card can also cycle back in the normal monsters to make your ground Xeno live. So I'm genuinely thinking about cutting a particular card, maybe a Nightmare Phoenix or something like that, to facilitate this card, because I'm telling you, this card is completely just wowzers. It's amazing. There's 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Xing, 1 Baron de Fleur. If you guys can't afford Baron de Fleur, no worries, you can cut it. I would love to have played Long Yuan, the other Synchro, but unfortunately, it requires a worm monster. If you guys are really tight, then maybe playing that second Gigantazowler might work here. 1 copy of Transcend Drake Drill Nagathis. This card is actually amazing too, and I'm not gonna lie, this could be also cope. I like cycling back Miscellaneous Saris because that's just what I like doing in Dinos. 1 copy of Logia, 1 Dalka, and this card is the only summonable Exceed monster outside of Logia and Dalka when you're locked into Meteorus, and actually comes up against matchups like Super Heavy Samurai. There are also some other cards that I want to talk to you guys about. Borreload and Borreled Sword Dragon are actually decent cards to summon in this particular deck, because while Xeno does lock you into the, things that locks you into, those monsters are easily summonable. The reason why I went against Borreled Sword is because this deck has enough horsepower to pretty much win on its own. That's why there's no access code talker either. And Borreload can actually be a solid option to replace Baron de Floorfoot as it is an underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card. But now that I'm done showing you guys the extra deck and the sideboard, let me show you these combos, my guy. All right, big dog, so there's 2 different combos I want to share with you. The first combo I'm going to share with you is a little bit more hand trap proof. You don't even use your normal summon for most of the combo, giving your opponent a reason to pause, but also this combo is Nibiru proof. The second combo has a little bit of a higher ceiling, but is a little bit more susceptible to hand interruption. This particular combo is going to require Ground Xeno and Baby Sarasaurus, and one extra thing to note is that this particular combo needs Baby Sarasaurus in its opening play, whereas the other one does not. We're going to start off by activating Ground Xeno here. We will use the effect of Ground Xeno to add Xeno Meteorus from our decks to our hand, destroying the Baby Sarasaurus, triggering Baby as Chainlink 1 and Xeno as Chainlink 2, allowing us to dodge interruptions. I'll summon Xeno to my side of the field, and with Baby, I'll summon Petit Pteranodon. We'll use the effect of Xeno on our Petit Pteranodon if our opponent decides to disrupt us here. Keep in mind, we still have not invested our normal summon, so the Soul Eating pretty much still is full combo here. We'll destroy a Petit Pteranodon to be able to special summon any normal dinosaur monster to your side of the field. I like to summon the bigger one first because this one is the more awkward one to draw into. And then we'll trigger the effect of our Petit Pteranodon. We'll special summon a Soul Eating to our side of the field. We'll use Soul Eating to add Mist from our deck to our hand, and on our 4th summon, we'll use the effect of Mist to protect ourselves from the Nibiru and other activated effects. I'll then follow up by using Mist banishing itself and the Petit Pteranodon to be able to special summon a Baby Sarasaurus, and now Soul Eating will destroy the Baby Sarasaurus to special summon the Baby Sarasaurus. I had a really good joke here, but Hoodley's not going to let me say it. It's about destroying Baby Sarasaurus. We'll trigger the first effect of our Baby Sarasaurus to be able to special summon Animadorn to Archosaur, using Animadorn and Archosaur to pop the baby again, getting us a double evolution pill, and then triggering this Baby Sarasaurus to special summon Scrap Raptor. Now here is where we're actually going to conduct our fusion summon. I'm going to go ahead and use the effect of Ground Xeno to be able to fuse with my normal monster and my Animadorn Archosaur. I am going to fusion summon into my Gigantazowler using its effect, allowing me to get a Baby Sarasaurus. I'm sorry, baby, you're not done just yet. We're going to keep destroying you from our graveyards to our hand. I will then normal summon the Baby Sarasaurus, and you could wait to use the Scrap Raptor's effect, but if your opponent does decide to stop your Scrap Raptor or your Scrap Wyvern with a card like Ash, then you're kind of stuck with a Baby Sarasaurus. So I would use the Raptor to destroy the baby to be able to gain the additional normal summon, and now Baby will special summon the Giant Rex. Oh, one more thing before I even go deeper. Another reason to summon the level 6 Dino over the 4 is that you can actually, if your combo does get interrupted mid-combo, you can Exceed summon back into the Transcendosaurus to special summon your Misk and then keep playing, or special summon a banished dinosaur monster and keep playing depending on the situation. But anyways, we'll use Scrap Raptor and Giant Rex for a Link summon here. we are going to summon our Scrap Wyvern to our side of the field. Really important that we get Raptor to the graveyard. Just in case Wyvern does get stopped, we have Rex in graveyard. We'll use the effect of our Wyvern summoning Raptor, destroying Raptor, Chainlink 1 to summon from deck, Chainlink 2 to search. We will search a Scrap Chimera and then summon another Scrap Wyvern, or Scrap Raptor, destroying our Scrap Wyvern. And then right here, I will use my Scrap Raptor and my Soul Eating for an Xyz summon. I'm going to make the Evil Sword Dolka. From here, we'll use our gained effect of a normal summon. We're going to normal summon Scrap Chimera, using its effect to special summon Scrap Raptor. And here's where I'm going to use both of these monsters for another Xyz summon. Unfortunately, we don't have enough great dragon monsters or Xyz or stuff like that to manipulate here, but this could actually be really good against decks like Super Heavy Samurai. I'm going to go ahead and make Abyss Dweller. Let me go ahead and move all of this down as we're going to finish the touches on our combo. I'm going to activate Double Evolution Pill. I'm going to banish just Scrap Wyvern and my Giant Rex. I'll special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and trigger the effect of the Giant Rex. We'll summon this monster to our side of the field, and now we'll conduct our very last summon. We're going to synchro summon with these two monsters into Supreme Sovereign Xingying. So allow me to explain what's going on here. This is in the middle, this is in the far right, this is empty. We don't want our opponent just relinquish anima for free. So in this particular sequence, we have Abyss Dweller, detach 1 to be able to prevent our opponent from activating graveyard effects, but it's actually so much more, especially if we can get like a Dolka negation by detaching Raptor. Holy! We can also use the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to destroy our Gigantazowler, using its effect to be able to return our Frostlosaurus back into our deck to summon it back, but there's more. It'll allow us to add a Soul Eating Overraptor from our graveyard to our hand, and then allows us to attempt to destroy our Xingying to destroy an opponent's monster. Xingying can protect itself by banishing a monster, and then you get to banish 2 more cards from your opponent's field in graveyard. We have the Dolka negates the Dwellers, but even if that didn't work, you can also just add Baby Ceresaurus and then Gigantazowler, destroy the Baby Ceresaurus to destroy an opponent's card, which will allow you to summon a Raptor from deck. This combo is actually crazy, as through all of that destruction, we have Abyss Dweller on the field, preventing them from activating those graveyard effects. So decks like Super Heavy Samurai will really have to respect this combo. So this combo has a bigger upside and is a little less rigid, but there are trade-offs. It's a little bit more susceptible, and you have to use your normal summon earlier on. The good thing is that we can use Petit Pteranodon for this combo, so strongly consider it. In this particular situation, we'll activate Ground Xeno. We'll add any normal monster. I'll add the Frostosaurus because this card is not the best card to draw from time to time. And then we'll destroy the Petit Pteranodon. From here, I'll trigger the effect of Petit Pteranodon. We will use that to be able to summon Soul Eating to our side of the field. And then we'll trigger the effect of Soul Eating Overraptor to be able to add a Baby Ceresaurus. Now we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Baby Ceresaurus using our Soul Eating to destroy the baby to summon the Petite, triggering the effect of our Baby Ceresaurus to be able to special summon a Scrap Raptor. From here, I'm going to go ahead and link with both my Soul Eating and my Scrap Raptor into Scrap Wyvern. And now we're going to use the effect of Scrap Wyvern to summon Scrap Raptor, destroy Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We will add a Scrap Chimera from our decks to our hand and special summon another Scrap Raptor, destroying the Petit Pteranodon, triggering its effect to special summon the Miscellaneousaurus. From here, Scrap Wyvern and our Scrap Raptor will be used for a link summon into Cross Sheep, and then we are going to activate the effect of our Ground Xeno. We'll fuse both the Misk and the Frostosaurus into our favorite card, Gigantazowler. I move this down so y'all can see it. Cross Sheep and Gigantazowler's effects will both activate here. Gigantazowler will add a Baby Ceresaurus from our deck to our hand, and Cross Sheep will special summon our Scrap Raptor. We'll then use the effect of our Miscellaneousaurus in our graveyard. We're going to go ahead and banish it to be able to special summon an Animadorned Archosaur, using the Archosaur to destroy the Baby Ceresaurus to be able to add a Double Evolution Pill. Now you're going to trigger the Baby Ceresaurus to summon a... well, I guess it could be a Petit Pteranodon. It kind of doesn't matter because we're just going to use the Scrap Raptor to destroy the Petit Pteranodon to summon the Giant Rex. From here, we can go ahead and synchro summon with both our Giant Rex and our Scrap Raptor, we are going to make our ultimate Boral Boy Savage mode. We'll use Savage to equip the Scrap Wyvern right here. And now we'll activate. We'll normal summon Scrap Chimera to our side of the field using its effect to bring back Scrap Raptor, using all 4 of these monsters for a link summon into Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. And then we'll activate Double Evolution Pill here, using the double pill to banish a Scrap Chimera and the Giant Rex to be able to summon the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, triggering the effect of Rex to summon itself to the side of the field. And congratulations, you still have that X-Seeds option. This time around, since we have Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, on the field, a lot of times Dolka is not necessary. Either Logia or your Dweller would be better equipped for this particular situation. I think Logia would be the best option. So in this particular situation, it's slightly weaker. I would personally say it's slightly weaker because Appaloosa will never get off all 3 of its disruptions. But we do have more Spell and Trap disruptions, as well as an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to destroy the Gigantazauler combo, which is still really, really, really good. And that's all that I have for the Dino deck, boys. I think that this deck is phenomenal. Of course, big dogs, I will be putting up more test hands on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. But until then, you can check out these videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.